In this video, we will show you how to replace your radiator cooling fan assembly on this Honda Accord. This will be located inside of your engine compartment. Let's get into it. Okay friend, let's get started on our replacement of our radiator cooling fan. To do this, we'll start by draining the radiator fluid. Carefully open up your radiator cap by taking hold of it, turning it counterclockwise, and lifting it up and away from your face, just in case it's under pressure. Give the seal a quick inspection, make sure that your radiator cap is still reusable. This one looks fine. The next thing we'll do is make our way right along the back side of the radiator. We're looking for the drain. You can see that there's a small carve out in that lower panel for the fluid to drain out. Make sure you have a collection bucket under this area so you can recycle that fluid properly. Let's let the system drain. Once it's finished draining, go ahead and close up that drain. Remove your upper radiator hose. Go ahead and squeeze that clamp, slide it down the hose a little bit, remove the hose from the radiator. Once you have that hose removed, give it a quick inspection, make sure it's not cracked, dry, and brittle. This one looks good. We'll set it aside. Now we can start disconnecting our electrical connectors. For the one on the passenger side, there's a small squeeze tab. Go ahead and squeeze that in and separate this. We'll check both sides for corrosion. We'll make our way over towards the other side of the fan. Use a small pocket screwdriver to dislodge the wiring harness from the fan. Just make our way right into this little clip. Gently pry, separate the area. Now we'll continue on to disconnecting this side electrical connector. There's a small squeeze tab where my thumb is. We'll squeeze that in to unlock this and just separate it. A quick check for corrosion. Now we'll follow this wiring harness down along the fan. As for this wiring harness, you'll find that it's secured in 3 places. Got one up along the top here. Continue following it down for the other 2. One's in the center, one's down towards the bottom. There we are. In the center, we'll separate this hose from the top of the radiator. Now we can start dismounting the fan from the radiator. You'll find that you have 3 10mm bolts holding it in place. One in the center, one along each side. Let's remove this piece of plastic. You'll find that you should have 2 push clips holding it in place. Ours only has 1. Use a trim tool, go ahead and pull that right out of there. Take hold of this and lift it up and out. Now we can take hold of the fan and start lifting it up and away from the radiator. If you find that it's stuck in place, just give it a light tug straight up. Now on the original fan assembly, you'll find that you still have your coolant reservoir attached. Use a 10mm. Remove that and then slide this out of place. We'll transfer it over to the brand new fan assembly. All right, let's get ready to install that brand new fan assembly. We'll take the coolant reservoir and slide it in position. Start bringing this down into position. As you align the 3 holes down along the bottom, the top should align as well. Starting your 3 mounting bolts. Once you have all 3 of them started, you can snug them up. Snug them up. Now let's continue on with our wiring harness along the driver's side. You remember there was several areas that need to push into the fan. So we'll take these and we'll start pressing them in. Got this one right here. We also will have the electrical connector for the fan. Plug that in along the way. Listen for a click from that, give it a tug to make sure it's secured. We'll continue securing the wiring, making its way down along the fan shroud. Got one more all the way down there. Press that in. While we're over here, we'll also make sure that we secure the wiring harness to the fan shroud itself. We don't want this dangling around and potentially getting caught or damaged. Just double check to make sure it's clear of the fan blade. We'll trim off any excess of this wire tie. And now we can continue on with the radiator hose over here, and we'll make our way towards the passenger side of the radiator. Now that we've done that, let's make our way over here. We'll reinstall our plastic piece. This should slide right into position. We've got our push clip area. Go ahead and align those mounting holes. Press the push clips in. There should be 2. Ours has 1. Install your radiator hose along the top here. As we make our way towards the passenger side, we'll reconnect in the fan over here as well. Press it in, listen for a click. Secure that wiring harness. Once again, we're double checking to make sure nothing is anywhere close to the fans. We'll trim off the excess. We'll reconnect the overflow hose leading down to the overflow container. Now we'll start filling the cooling system with the manufacturer's specified coolant. To do this, you can do it several different ways. One way is with a funnel like this, right up along the top of the radiator. You'd remove the center, start filling this up, allow all the air to make its way out of the cooling system, and the coolant to make its way down and in. For me personally, I have a special refilling tool that I'll be using. At this point, we're going to create vacuum. You'll watch this needle climb all the way through the red, through the yellow, and into the green. We want to have approximately 25 pounds of vacuum in the system here. Once I've done so, I'll cut off the air, and we'll pause and make sure that the needle does not drop. If the needle drops down into the yellow, it's not so good. Into the red, we've got a big leak someplace. This has held pressure for a while now. I'm confident I do not have a leak. Now I can start filling it. There we go. Now we'll just continue filling up the cooling system. I'm doing this with the funnel. I'll let this burp out any air that's still left in the system. We'll continue on by starting up the vehicle and let it run with the heat in the hot position. Now that I've let this run and I'm sure that I burped out all the air inside the cooling system, we'll remove our apparatus. Continue on with your radiator cap. Press it on. Turn it clockwise until it stops. The next thing you want to do is check the level of coolant inside the reservoir. It needs to be topped off. Go ahead and turn this counterclockwise, remove the cap, and top it off as needed. Okay, friend, we've got our car back together. At this point, you want to start it up. Let it run for a little while. Check for leaks, and make sure those fans function as they should. Aside from that, close the hood and then take it for a road test. Thanks for watching.
When only the best will do, demand TRQ. The only company that lets you view before you do. TRQ is committed to offering the highest quality aftermarket auto parts that are engineered for peace of mind. Thanks for using and viewing with TRQ.